How is it that some general stores like this one make millions of dollars and others that look almost exactly the same don't? In today's video, we will find out together how you can put your general store in the position for success and how you can maximize conversion rates. How do you make sure you're not wasting thousands of dollars on mindless testing, and which are the traffic sources that you should be using? Well, that's what we will cover over the next few minutes. And first of all, one big note, I don't recommend general stores myself. I strongly believe in dedicated niche stores. It's what I have always been focused on myself and what I do with the vast majority of my clients. This being said though, if you still want to run a general store, let's find out what you can do to make this thing work. And we start with the first part, which is the store itself. Let's be honest here, most general stores look bad, they look amateurish, and they have been, like they have been made in an afternoon. And in the worst case, they have countdowns and spams and pop-ups all over the place trying to sell something. But even if you're not guilty of that, your general store might not be very inviting. The typical general store layout is an unnaturally long product page with walls and walls of text, some low quality GIFs, and hundreds of international reviews. This is a layout of the past, right? It looks bad, it's a big turnoff for most people, and those walls of text really don't invite people to read. So what should you be doing instead? First of all, don't always go with a free theme and a quick setup. Paid themes often have advantages in terms of store structure, default layouts, and possibilities, right? So I'm not saying that paid themes are always better, but many of them simply look better off the bat, and there is a lot less customization work that needs to be done in order to build a nice looking general store. You can buy your theme from Shopify themes itself with a decent selection and relatively high prices, or you can also buy themes externally, such as on ThemeForest. ThemeForest, for example, is a marketplace where you can buy all sorts of stuff. At the moment of this recording, they have about 1,200 Shopify themes and templates, so you will surely find something you like. Then with one of those themes, stop worrying too much about descriptions and focus more on images. Yes, descriptions matter and it makes sense to spend time on them, but I see so many stores with endless salesy descriptions and terrible images, and you should look for good visuals first, then worry about your ad copy, about your product copy and text. When it comes to reviews, less is more. So don't just blindly import thousands or hundreds of AliExpress reviews from all over the world. Customers will be skeptical and often the reviews don't even speak about the products. If you want to have some reviews up front, choose them carefully. So just have a few, but deeply relate them to the product and to the customers. Talk about the pros and cons and how it actually helped people. And it doesn't really make sense to have hundreds of reviews saying nice or so awesome or something, because that doesn't bring the customer forward. Ideally, the customers should see themselves in the reviews on your store, and it pushes them closer to the sale. It's not only about the number of stars that your product has or, the rating, but actually how helpful the reviews are for the customer to make a purchase decision. And there are a lot more points, of course, that go into building a proper general store. If you like, you can check the link in the description for a free quick store review where I make a video about your store and tell you what you might be able to improve to increase conversion rates. Not sure if this is still around when you watch this video, because of course I cannot offer that forever, but check the link, takes 20 seconds to fill out, and maybe I will do a review for you soon. Second, we have to talk about products. And you probably know about the typical dropshipping products that everyone is selling. Everyone spies on each other, and sooner or later certain products are like dying out. They are advertised on every store and every Facebook newsfeed and everywhere basically. One thing I can promise is that it's impossible to find true winners up front at clockwork. Yes, there are better products and worse products. There are better ways to find them and worse ways, but there is no foolproof way of doing research using tools like Google Trends and something to always come up with the next big thing. With this being said, and with this out of the way, it makes sense to look for certain factors, of course, when checking products to place in your general store. The first one being focus on products that cost $50 plus. Focus with decent products with decent margin so that you can actually advertise, right? The next thing is check the search volume and the first page bids on Google. Look for a low first page bid and aim at low to medium 5 figures in monthly searches if you want to use Google per product. It doesn't always have to be that high, but it helps in getting cheap clicks. For Facebook, on the other hand, you should be looking at impulse-driven products that you sell ideally for less than 100 so that people see the ad and they're like, okay, I need this stuff, right? That's actually quite important if you want to do it using Facebook. Here they shouldn't be too expensive. So it's kind of like contradicting Google versus Facebook, and on Facebook important that people see it and they like fall in love with it. So the product shouldn't be boring. It cannot be, you know, a simple accessory for their home or something. Ideally it's something that they don't see all the time. They stop scrolling on the newsfeed, they click the ads to your store, and it should be cheap enough so that they can make a quick decision. That's why I said before $50 plus in general, but when it comes to Facebook specifically, you should also stay in that range and not sort of surpass $100, $200. Of course it's still possible, but it's more difficult that way. When it comes to finding and choosing those products, what's also important is to every now and then check the news section of, for example, AliExpress or Alibaba or wherever you're sourcing your products from. If you're always going by like the hot sellers, the best sellers and things like that, these are the products obviously with a lot of competition. It's not like a hidden range of products that only you have access to. If they are the absolute best sellers on a major platform like AliExpress, you can be sure that there are dozens or hundreds or even thousands of advertisers advertising this exact same thing right now at this very moment. So sometimes it makes sense to just frequently go to these platforms, to these websites, look at products, find new interesting ones and just give them a try, right? Because this brings me to my next point. You should be testing at least 10 or adding at least 10 or 20 products to your store every single week. You can do more for sure, but it also depends on the quality. Like, don't just add 50 products a week with terrible images, terrible descriptions, terrible product page. But if you can somehow add 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 products per week that you can also, you know, build a decent product page for, do so, because you will never know which product will be a winner. I had absolutely ridiculous products be a winner out of nowhere, and we would have never expected that. Sometimes it really comes from the most, or from the weirdest products really that turn out to be a 5-6 figure per month product. So add 10 to 20 or more per week, as long as you can provide decent quality, and put them into your testing campaigns. If you use Google, you know, have a product testing shopping campaign. If you use Facebook, have some catalog campaigns going that you always advertise new products on. Not every single product that you have in your store you need to super actively advertise with its own customized ad and all that stuff. Sometimes it's enough to just have a passive campaign on shopping or Google Shopping or Facebook going, and then every now and then you pick individual products that you heavily advertise with custom video and all that stuff. But it is important that you keep adding, that you keep testing those new things, because with a general store, it's literally a numbers game, and that's a very important part of it. Now third, let's talk about the ads. First of all, you have to use Google Shopping ads to some degree. They are the lowest hanging fruits when it comes to e-commerce and specifically general stores in my opinion. So check the other videos on this channel, especially the previous one that goes like 45 minutes where I explain all kind of stuff in terms of Google ads, Google Shopping. You need to run them. Doesn't matter what exactly you sell, you should have one low cost shopping campaign running. Also, smart shopping can work very well for you. You need a little more budget for them because they require some testing, but also here makes sense. When it comes to Google search, you should also use them. Pick some products from your store that people are actively looking for and run search ads for them. In this case, polish your landing page and product pages even more for these and make sure that you have somewhat competitive pricing, then giving them a go. The idea here is that you have multiple campaigns, multiple campaign types for a variety of products, and that's how you actually get diversified tests, okay? The idea is to have diversified tests that can eventually lead to you finding a winner if you really spread all your efforts broadly. For Facebook ads, the creative is absolute key. By all means, don't waste all your time in the audience tab, creating audiences settings. Rather, create a killer creative for your product, ideally more than one, but in reality, it's probably better to test multiple products with one each rather than 3 creatives per product, but focus on creatives and copy. 80 to 90% of your time in the ads manager should be spent on creatives and copy versus just the targeting and settings, right? This is extremely important, and very few people actually get that right in terms of not wasting their time on all those technical aspects that make a very, very little difference in the end. You should always ask yourself, what is really moving the needle? Is it spending 2 hours fine-tuning the audience and choosing between manual bidding and automated bidding? No, that's definitely not the case, because else it would be super easy, right? Facebook can just do all that for you. What moves the needle is connecting the right product with the right ad and putting people on the right landing page, basically. And this is definitely easier said than done. This is where your creativity and your work really takes place. It's not about making all these technical adjustments, but it's really finding a way that gets people excited and sends them to your store, and on your store making sure that you have a product page and a product that actually has, or that actually have the potential to convert people. That's what this is about. So always focus on what people can actually see versus on stuff that is going on behind the system or behind the background or something, right? Where it's just about the technical aspects. They are definitely less important. Now, I want to wrap this video up with something that probably many people out there don't really agree with, and this is general stores have a lot to do with luck at times. I know this may sound a little bit demotivating and you might not agree with it, as I said, but I believe that there is no perfect foolproof way to find winning products all the time. There are a lot of people out there who claim they have figured it all out and they know exactly how to find winners every single day, but that's just not the case. Finding winning products is of course a matter of having a better or a worse strategy. Sure, you can do it in a better and a worse way. I'm not denying that at all, but claiming that this is an easy way or that easy thing or that you can do this all the time is just not true. Because remember, your winner has to not only make up for all the losses that you made before, but still generate profits on top after that, and also do so for some time. So that's actually worth the effort, right? This being said, with the points from this video, you should at least increase your chances. A niche store will always stay my preferred choice for e-commerce, but at least this should have helped. Don't fool yourself by looking at incomplete data, right? Looking only at sales and claiming that you've done it, because I know people that literally made 7 figures in total sales over a span of 1 or 2 years, but when they really did the calculation with taxes and cost of goods and marketing and everything, they actually had a very bad return from this whole thing. So keep that in mind. Don't look at your sales, look at what comes out of that at the very bottom. And what's also important is the one sort of golden question you should always ask yourself when judging your store and deciding whether to start running ads or whether something is actually right. And this is, would you buy from yourself at this very moment? I know so many people that say my store is terrible, I hope that someone will buy from it, but I would personally never buy from it because it looks just so bad. This is a very bad way of starting this whole thing, because customers aren't stupid, right? They look at it and sure, maybe like they miss on something, or maybe they like your product so much that they still buy, but it's a very bad sign if you already know that you would never buy from your store yourself, because in the end, from a consumer perspective, you might be very similar to a lot of other people. So ask yourself, would you buy from you? If you say, no, that's terrible, I would never buy, back to the drawing board, make changes, improve it, improve the design, make it look more legit, make it look more transparent and everything. Then come back, would you buy from your store? If you say yes this time, then you are truly ready to run ads and you're truly ready to start this whole journey. But if you say no again, back to the drawing board, making changes, new logo, different colors, probably different style, that's how you actually know that you at least have a higher chance of making this whole thing work. Now, I really hope that you enjoyed this video, that you got something out of it, that you now have a better idea of how to start your general store or how to improve it. And if you want to see more Google Ads, e-commerce, and dropshipping tips, videos, and strategies, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. On this channel, I post videos like these where I explain things, as well as very in-depth tutorials where I show you on screen how to improve campaigns, how to launch campaigns, and things that are a lot more hands-on. So if you don't want to miss out on that, make sure that you hit the notification bell and subscribe to this channel. Also, leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Beyond that, check the links in the description for my free store review and for some other cool stuff that I can help you with, whether it's me actively, personally working with you, or simply connecting with me on Instagram, for example. Now, with this being said, hope you have a great day, and I'm looking forward to you tuning in next time again. Bye-bye.